The 2025 NFL Draft is officially 1 year into their career, which means a lot of people are wondering whether they took the right player or the wrong player. So in today's video, I want to give you guys a 2025 first round redraft. Hit the like and subscribe button if you're new and going to enjoy. Let's hop into it. So as you guys can see, we are on the redraft. Now this website is not officially public. This is actually a website that I am working on. It is in beta mode. We have not released it to the public yet. So give us some time. Hopefully we can get this thing out within the next couple months or so. But with that said, this is the redraft here. And as you can see, we have the draft order right here, starting with the Titans all the way down to the Kansas City Chiefs. We also have the board right here. I think we have all the way down to the third round, but if you're missing a player in like the fourth or fifth round, we can add the prospect right here. And we're going to begin with the Tennessee Titans first overall. I feel like this is, it's pretty clear here. I'm either going to take Cam Ward or I'm going to be taking probably Jackson Dart. Although I do want to show a shout out here to Tyler Shuck, who had himself, if I can see him here, yeah, Tyler Shuck, who had himself a whale of a year. But I am going to stick with Cam Ward here to be the pick for the Tennessee Titans. He really did a magical job in a season where nothing good was supporting him. He made the most of it, and he was able to stay healthy for most of the season until the very end. He had a productive year. That was a Titans team that had so many flaws, and he got the job done. So Tennessee goes Cam Ward first overall. Second overall, if you guys don't remember, Jacksonville actually had the fifth overall pick, but did trade up to take Travis Hunter. I guess that maybe we could put them back at 5, but I don't care. Who cares? Jacksonville's up at number 2. I don't think they would take Travis Hunter in a redraft, knowing like hindsight's 2020, and obviously Travis had all the injuries in the world, and he really never really worked out on either position. But I still think long term, like he's going to be a very promising player no matter what position he plays. But I don't know if in a redraft they would take him second overall. I could be wrong. Maybe they would, but I don't think I'm going to do so. I think I lean with Tetairoa McMillan. One offensive rookie of the year, was the best receiver in this draft class. Jacksonville could use a premier receiver. Obviously, they traded for Jacoby Myers midseason, so even if they still made that move, a combination of Tets McMillan, Jacoby Myers, and Brian Thomas Jr., not too shabby right there. So I think that's where I'm leaning. I'm also liking the idea of like a Mason Graham pick right here. Obviously, you have Eric Armstead up the middle, but maybe another big body right there. I mean, he wasn't the second best rookie, so this kind of makes this one a bit tough. I don't know. I mean, do you take Abdul Carter and just say Trevon Walker's gone? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'll just take Tet. I think I'll just take Tet McMillan here. A lot of good options, but I'll take Tetairoa McMillan. 3 is the New York Giants, and I don't think they would sleep again without Jackson Dart. They will take Jackson Dart here to be their franchise quarterback. He did a great job this year. Dealt with some concussion issues, but outside of that, when he was out there on the field, he was making some absolute plays out in the field, and he arguably could be the number 1 pick in a redraft. So I don't think the New York Giants would go a different way here. At number 4, we got the New England Patriots, who originally took Will Campbell. You obviously have to add the context now that that left tackle spot would be open in this scenario. I will tell you what, I don't think Will Campbell would be the pick here if it were to be another offensive lineman. I do believe it'd be either Kelvin Banks or Armand Membu, who, man, both of these guys had just spectacular seasons. I personally was higher on Banks coming out of the draft, but both these guys just stellar years for their respective teams. I wonder if Abdul Carter would be in play here, because they could use a premier pass rusher. But if we're just basing this off of what we've seen so far, the 1 year, and by the way, this is way too early. We might have to do a 2024 redraft after next season where this whole thing will change up here. I'm going to stick with the offensive lineman here, though. I'm going to go with Kelvin Banks, specifically because Banks plays that left tackle spot and Membu plays the right tackle spot. And we have Morgan Moses playing right tackle. Banks is our long-term left tackle. Feel pretty good about that one. All right, Cleveland's up at number 5, who originally would have been here at number 2, but it is what it is. Man, do you think they would consider Travis Hunter here? I wonder if they would, but at the same time, you probably want to just go ahead and secure your quarterback of the future. And fortunately, in this draft class, there's a certain guy named Tyler Shock, or I keep saying Shock. I think it's Shuck, by the way. I'm going to take Tyler Shuck here, though, to be the franchise guy. Again, with the context of this being a redraft, there's no Dylan Gabriel on the team. There's no Shedeur Sanders on this team. So I think we'll take Tyler Shuck here to be our franchise quarterback. 6, we got the Las Vegas Raiders, who also have a quarterback need. Unfortunately, I don't really think there's a quarterback here that I would take. I mean, would I consider Shedeur? Probably not, to be honest with you. I don't think he proved enough to me to be drafted that high. But you know, he had a decent year. I don't think we'll take Shedeur here, though. I don't think Travis Hunter would be the pick here. I don't know if, I mean, Abdul Carter next to Max Crosby. Abdul didn't light the scoreboard up, but he had a really dominant year. He had a good year this year. They did obviously take Ashton Genty, which didn't really work out for them. Not really Genty's fault, more of their offensive line's fault. Do you just take Armand Membu here? Let him play, I guess you have Colton Miller already in the fold, but, figure out who plays left and right and kind of retool your offensive line a little bit. I don't hate that idea at all. Carson Schwessinger is also totally in play. Probably, I think he won Defensive Rookie of the Year, and rightfully so. I don't hate that pick at all, the Carson Schwessinger pick. It's between Carson right now and Armand Membu, and I think you just go best player available. And I mean, man, Armand Membu could be a starting caliber. You know what? Actually, I'm going to take Armand Membu because it's easier to find competent linebacker play than it is to take competent offensive line play. So we'll take Armand Membu here for the Raiders. 7, we got the New York Jets, who also could consider a quarterback here, but could also go a variety of ways. We got to remember, Mason Taylor was their 2nd-round pick. Who did they take? They took Armand Membu, so they do still need a right tackle in this draft. Man, do I maybe kick the tires on Mason Graham? Quentin Williams no longer on the team. We'll still assume that trade happens mid-season. So do you want to have your replacement here in Mason Graham, who I thought had a really good rookie season? And it wasn't like astonishing or anything, but I thought he was pretty good. Maybe a playmaker, like a wide receiver, maybe like a Emeka Egbuka or Colston Loveland. Loveland really came on in the back half of the year. I don't hate that pick at all because their tight end room, obviously right now, is just Mason Taylor. So you don't have him, it's kind of slim pickings there. I don't hate that idea, or we could go Carson Schwessinger as well. Get the best defensive player in this draft. Obviously they came into the year thinking they were fine at linebacker. Didn't really work out that way. Quincy's out the door, and we'll see what they do this offseason. I actually am going to go with Carson Schwessinger here because I think he'd be an excellent fit for Aaron Glenn's defense. Big, strong, yeah. Carson Schwessinger there, the Jets. Incredible year for that guy. Carolina Panthers are up, and they took Ted McMillan in this draft, so hypothetically, they still do need a weapon. I wonder if they would maybe consider Colston Loveland here, or Emeka Egbuka, or Travis Hunter. I mean, that's in play, I think, or Abdul Carter. That's really tempting to me. I'm thinking I might go Abdul Carter here, because keep in mind, redraft, no Nick Scorton on this team either. So, and he was pretty big for them this year. You take away Scorton, it would be DJ Wanham and, I don't know, throw me out there. I think I might do Abdul Carter here because, yeah, you need a receiver too, obviously. But Abdul Carter's here. There is no Ted McMillan. I liked what I saw from Emeka, particularly in the first half of the season. I thought second half kind of slowed down. I think Abdul Carter still has superstar potential at the defensive end position. And again, I thought he was pretty good this year. Like, I wasn't lighting up the scoreboard, but I thought he was still really, really good. So we'll go Abdul Carter there for the Carolina Panthers. Number 9, this was originally Kelvin Banks, but now the Saints have a different pick here. Maybe they just go Will Campbell, play him at guard, because that's what this team could use. I think that's an option here. I would have considered Abdul Carter here too. I think that would have made a lot of sense. Emeka Egbuka would be interesting next to Chris Olave. I don't really hate that one. Also, keep in mind, they don't have Tyler Shuck. So who would be their quarterback of the future? I don't know. I mean, yikes. Are we going to go the Shador route? Probably not. I don't think Shador's going to make it into this first round. Will Johnson, not bad. This is tough. I don't hate the idea of taking Travis Hunter here. I know he's so unproven, but like the talent is so obviously there that that would make some sense for me here. Having somebody that can play corner or wide receiver, a dynamic playmaker, either way you want to put him out there. Maybe you go Tyler Booker, who was unbelievable at the guard position. And again, New Orleans, they need help in the guard positions. I don't hate that. Jalen Walker, man, there's a lot of good options here. It's a pretty good draft, dude. Man, this is really tough. Because Hunter's a more unknown right now, and we know what we're going to get from some of these other guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and I think I might take Jalen Walker here. I think I might go Jalen Walker. Had a really productive year off the edge. I mean, look, James Pierce Jr. would also be in consideration, but where's he at? James Pierce. He's somewhere here. Anyway, James Pierce is somewhere on here. Right there he is, but he didn't have he had the off the field issues, so that kind of puts a wrench in things. Man, Tyler Booker's calling my name here. Tyler Booker because they don't also have Kelvin Banks in this class too, so they got to improve that offensive line. All right, we'll go Tyler Booker here. That could be a little bit controversial, but Booker, man, he has a star stud at guard for the next, 8+ years for the Dallas Cowboys written all over him. So New Orleans get themselves a really productive guard. Chicago at 10, do they just roll the dice again with Colston Loveland and feel really good about that? I think they would. I mean, Colston was so good down the stretch of the season. You could maybe talk me into like a Jalen Walker, but I don't think they'd be too mad just taking Colston Loveland. So we'll run that pick back. San Francisco's up at 11. Oh, Travis Hunter. Yeah, I'm going to take Travis Hunter here. Let him play receiver or corner. It doesn't really matter. I know he was injured all year. I still think the talent is so clearly there. San Francisco, they could kind of use that versatile piece, and we saw that receiving core, how it just kind of dismantled this year. So we'll take Travis Hunter there to the San Francisco 49ers. Dallas up at 12. No Tyler Booker on this team. We're going to assume they still make the trade for Quinnen Williams midseason. We know how bad this defense was. Do we go Jalen Walker here and give them a nice pass rusher off the edge? Do we take a Nicky Monwari here? Yeah. Yep. Yes, we do. We're going to take Nicky Monwari for the Dallas Cowboys. Such a great year for the Seattle Seahawks. Would fit so perfectly with Christian Parker and what that Cowboys defense wants to do now. Miami's up at 13. Another team that could also consider corner help here. And if you're looking for a corner, Will Johnson's here. But they do have a massive tight end need. And we got Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland both staring us down. Where's Colston at? Colston is right. I don't know. Colston's somewhere, okay? We know he took Colston Loveland. Never mind. I'm on freaking crack. Let's take Tyler Warren here. They badly need help in the tight end position. I think Tua with the tight end actually could have been kind of decent this year. Just throwing that out there. They need more weapons, especially if Tyreek never got hurt. You'd have Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, and Tyler Warren. Warren could definitely be that physical element that they just don't have out there. They have Darren freaking Waller, who, give Darren his credit. He made some plays, but Tyler Warren's a different cat. We have Indianapolis up at 14, who'd they take originally? They took, who'd they take? Oh, they took Tyler Warren with this pick. I was blanking there for a second. Is this Mason Graham? I wonder if this is Mason Graham territory. Mason Graham would fit in nicely in an interior spot. I feel like that makes some sense here because you have Laiatu Latu. I'm trying to think what else maybe they'd consider here. I mean, maybe they would consider Harold Fannin maybe because they don't have, hypothetically, a tight end right now. I wonder if maybe they'd consider like a Jahdae Barron maybe. He didn't have a great rookie year, but maybe you consider that. Josh Connerly. I'm trying to look down the board here, see if there's somebody who just stands out here. Nick Scorton, I could kind of see that. I think I'm gonna go with Deion Walker. Had a hell of a year too, by the way. He's definitely in contention to be drafted this mock draft. I think I might go with Mason Graham here. Let's go Mason Graham here for the Colts. Atlanta Falcons are up. I feel like I just go right back to Jalen Walker, right? I mean, what else would you want from this team? He had such a productive year. It's going to help them down the road. Yeah, I'll take Jalen Walker there to the Atlanta Falcons. 16 Arizona Cardinals, who they took Walter Nolan. I think they liked what they saw from him so far, but it hasn't fully, worked out because he was injured for most of the year. So I don't know if that would be the pick. Maybe Ashton Jeanty? Ooh, because we all know like what ended up happening this year with all the injuries they had. You put Jeanty there with Kyler. I don't hate that at all. They have a decent enough offensive line. I mean, yeah, they have a decent enough offensive line. So I think that might go Jeanty here. I think I might go Jeanty. Obviously, in a redraft, we'll see if they would end up with Will Johnson, but let's take Ashton Jeanty there for the Arizona Cardinals. So guys, hopefully you guys are enjoying the website. We're having a lot of fun building this thing out. It's still going to take a few more weeks to get this thing out to the public, but when it is out, we're going to make sure to let you guys know, and hopefully you guys can go on there and do all sorts of fun things. We got a lot of awesome features. We got a lot of plans for it. So if you have any ideas of what we could add to the website, please let me know in the comment section below or email me. My email is in the description. We would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. But let's get back to the video. 17, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, who, I mean, originally took Shamar Stewart. Didn't really work out for them. I wonder if this is a Will Campbell spot. Let him play guard for you, which I think he's much better served as a guard. Maybe just kick the tires on Walter Nolan. I know he didn't play much this year, but he showed a lot of good in that. Gray Zabel is also here as well. We also can't forget the Detroit Tate Ratledge had a really solid rookie season too. Donovan Jackson would be in play. I think I'm leaning. Oh, Will Johnson's also here, by the way. Will Johnson he was injured for a couple games in this season, but when he was healthy, he was actually really, really good this year. I don't really need corner help badly, but there's not a safety in this class. I mean, Jonas Sanker had a good year. He had a productive year. I don't think you're taking him over some of these other guys right now. Malachi Starks kind of struggled a little bit this year. Unless I'm forgetting some safety that had a good year, I can't think off the top of my head of. this wasn't a great safety class if I remember properly. So I'm probably going to go offensive line here. And I think I'm going to work my way towards Gray Zabel. I think that's where I'm going to go with this one. He had a productive year. He's not like the flashiest name in the world, but he's just a solid guard. I'm like, Will Campbell might be better. Will Campbell, Gray Zabel. Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll go, man, I feel like Bengals fans are going to be mad either way. I'm going to go, man, I don't know. Who's better, Will Campbell or Gray Zabel? I mean, obviously Gray Zabel is better, but Will Campbell kicking inside to play guard could be really good. Let's go Gray Zabel since we know what he is as a guard. Let's go Gray Zabel. Seahawks up at pick 18. Who was this pick originally? This was, I keep forgetting it was the Gray Zabel pick. They just go Will Campbell and kick him in a guard? I mean, I guess. Obviously, now they don't have Nicky Monwari, which sucks because he was so good for them. Fortunately, in real life, they don't have to worry about that. Maybe we just go Will Campbell here, let him play at guard. That feels like, or we could go to Tate Rattledge, who had just an incredibly solid season. I hate that Will Campbell's falling down the board here, but he just had a really rough end of the season. Let's go Tate Rattledge here out of Georgia to the Seattle Seahawks. He's pretty similar to Gray Zabel, so Seattle, you're still probably winning the championship. Tampa Bay up at 19. I mean, do we just go back to Emeka Egbuka? Emeka's kind of fallen just based off of team need at this point. I mean, he worked out good for them. There's not really a go-to pass rusher on the board right now that I'm like in love with. I like Donovan Ezeraku a ton. I think he's got a ton of upside. Where's Donovan? Right here. I don't know if he fixes all their issues, and Mike Evans had a ton of injuries this year. Nick Scorton is also in play. Nick Scorton had a hell of a year too. I just kind of feel like Mike Green, no, he didn't really come on this year like we thought he was going to. I think I'm just going to take Emeka Egbuka, knowing how the year worked out for them and just kind of the injury bug they got hit with. If it wasn't for Emeka in those early games, this season could have really fell off a lot sooner for this team. So we'll take Emeka Egbuka back to Tampa Bay. Denver up at 20. This was the Jahdae Barron pick, which I don't think they're mad at that pick. It didn't really work out for them, and I'm not sure they're not too mad at that one. Is this Walter Nolan maybe? Continuing to add more depth to that defensive line. They don't really have a ton of major needs. I would have maybe taken Emeka Egbuka, but no, I know who I'm taking. We're going to take Harold Fannin Jr. to be their tight end one. Evan Ingram didn't really work out for them this year. Harold Fannin could easily be, a plug-and-play starter for this team. Pittsburgh's up at 21, and this original pick was Derek Harmon. I don't think they're mad at that pick at all. I think Derek Harmon showed a lot of flashes, but I think Walter Nolan could be maybe a bit better of a disruptor. But again, I don't think they're mad at Derek Harmon at all. Maybe, what else would they think of taking? Matthew Golden? I mean, there's clearly a ton of potential. I just feel like his usage was kind of weird this year. And Matthew Golden next to DK Metcalf, like that could be dynamite, man. Some of these interior defensive linemen are really calling my name, specifically Walter Nolan and Derek Harmon. Matthew is a big unknown, but he could be really good. Let me see if there's somebody down the board Luther Burden. Burden had a hell of a year, especially as the year went on. It took him a little bit. He got going towards the back end. And Luther Burden next to DK Metcalf, yeah. We'll go to Luther Burden there for Pittsburgh. Play Chargers. This is Will Campbell, easily. Will Campbell, easily, brother. Put him at guard, let him play tackle. I mean, knowing hindsight now, knowing all the injuries they had at tackle, he'd probably still play tackle, but let him play in guard a little bit as well. I mean, that's a easy plug and play right there. Green Bay's up at 23. And originally this was the Matthew Golden pick. They didn't really use him a ton this year. They definitely could have used some help in the back end. And I think Will Johnson would make a lot of sense here. Jahad Campbell also works out. I mean, he had a great year too. He kind of like tailed off in the back end. He was super dominant at the beginning of the year. Then they kind of, they didn't really bench him, but they didn't really play him as much. So that was kind of weird. But I think we'll still go with Will Johnson here if I can find my friend Will Johnson. I'm as blind as a bat. Will Johnson, there you go. Green Bay gets a corner. Minnesota Vikings up at 24. Now, obviously, J.J. McCarthy didn't really work out for them this year, but it is what it is. Do you think they would consider Amarian Hampton here and just say, like, we're going to hand the ball off a lot more this year? I know you don't have Donovan. I mean, you could just go Donovan Jackson again here. Like, that's 100% in play. Or do you go Walter Nolan? Get a young disruptor up the middle. Obviously, this year he was down with injury for most of it. It's kind of a lost year anyways for Minnesota. I think Arizona feels great about what Walter Nolan can become. Or do I go Amari Hampton? This is a tight one. Pause. I'm going to go. What do I want to do with this pick? Do I want to go Amari Hampton? Or do I want to go Walter Nolan? I think we're good enough defensively where we can wait on Walter Nolan. Again, I hate that some of these interior guys are following. Like Derek Harmon and Walter Nolan are two great players. But I'm going to go Amari Hampton here. New York Giants up at 25. Giants took Jackson Dart. This was actually the Jackson Dart pick in the original draft. So they traded into the first round in this mock draft. So what would they take here? Would they go with an interior defensive lineman maybe? Sorry, interior offensive lineman, I should say. Or maybe a corner. Like Maxwell Hairston had a good year. It just kind of took him a little bit to get on the field. I would have loved like a Will Johnson pick here, maybe. They don't need a pass rusher. Although, I guess hypothetically, you don't have Abdul Carter anymore. Which, I mean, it wasn't like Abdul Carter was the most impactful guy in year one. Obviously, he's going to be a big part of their plans. But they should be fine without him. You know, just have to sort of change the perception of your brain. Maybe, I think, is this a Jonas Sanker spot? Give him a really good safety. I don't think people really realize how good of a year he had here in New Orleans. Like, really good year for this guy. So I think I might go with Jonas Sanker because of the year he had, and they needed some help in the back end this year. They should have just re-signed Xavier McKinney a few years ago. I don't know how they let that happen. Okay, we need to add Jonas Sanker in here. I'll make sure to add him after this is over, but we can just add him this way. Jonas Sanker, he is a safety, and he went to, where did Jonas Sanker? He went to Virginia, I want to say. All right, add him to the board. Let's now look up Mr. Jonas Sanker. Welcome to the New York Giants. I think that's a massive upgrade for them, by the way. Atlanta Falcons, who this would have been the James Pierce Jr. pick, which, by the way, if Pierce didn't have the off-the-field issues, Pierce would easily be on this list. In fact, James Pierce would probably be a top 10 pick. I'm just throwing that out there. He had a hell of a year, but off-the-field issues, man, they're a real one. I think I'm going to lean Walter Nolan here. I think Walter Nolan in that interior defensive line, which wasn't bad this year, but you don't have the two disruptors now. You just have the one. I think you maybe want a disruptor up the middle. So let's go with Walter Nolan, which honestly, a Walter Nolan and Jalen Walker duo instead of a Pierce and a Nolan or and a Jalen Walker. I keep mixing their names up. I think that might be actually maybe a bit better for this team. I don't know. 27 Baltimore Ravens defensive line really struggled towards the I guess the entire season. Let's go Derek Harmon here. Give him a big boy up the middle. 28 Detroit Lions. Who would they go with here? Who they take originally? This was the Tyleik Williams pick, which actually Tyleik looks pretty good. I do think there's some other opportunities on the board, though. Jahad Campbell, such a good player. Alex Anzalone, probably gone. So maybe you want to get Jahad Campbell, who, again, if he would have started the full year, might have been like a top 10 pick. I don't hate that one at all. Maxwell Hairston showed a lot in the little opportunities he got, but it is such a small sample size that it's like, can I do that? I don't hate the Jahad Campbell pick here. I don't hate that one at all. I mean, other than that, like, I'd maybe consider Nick Scorton here. I'd maybe consider, who else would I consider here? That's kind of it. Xavier Watts, hell of a year, but they don't really need a safety that badly. Let's go with Jahad Campbell here. Yeah, let's go Jahad. I think he can also come off the edge a little bit for them too. Washington up at 29. Let's not forget Washington was in the NFC Championship game. Now they're drafted inside the top 10. Crazy how how time can change things. 29 though. Man, I would have loved Jahad Campbell for this team with that pick, but it doesn't fall their way. I feel like this is an Ezraku or Nick Scorton pick. I feel like that's what I have to go with here. Maxwell Hairston would be a good pick here too, but I'm going to go Ezraku or Scorton. I feel like they had two kind of similar years. Didn't really necessarily like light up the board, but just were so productive and got after the quarterback so well. Ezraku was a really good run defender. Scorton also. They're like pretty identical to me. I'll go. I'm gonna go with Ezraku, and this is terrible logic just because Dan Quinn from Dallas, Ezraku from Dallas. Yeah, we'll go Ezraku here. Had a great year for that Cowboys. Buffalo's up at 30, and they could use a playmaker. And Matthew Golden's on the board, and him with Josh Allen. I think that would be nasty. Let's go Matthew Golden there for the Buffalo Bills. 31, the Philadelphia Eagles could have used some help in the secondary. And I'm trying to think, like, who would I take here? Maybe I would go, maybe Maxwell Hairston. Makuba had a great year. Does he get into the first round, though? I mean, obviously, Makuba actually was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. Deion Walker, by the way, I do want to give him a shout out. I don't know if he's going to get drafted, but he did have a great year. He easily could have been drafted in this back of round 1. That offensive line struggled a little bit towards the end, but I'm not really seeing anything I'm like in love with right now. And I might be missing a name off the top of my head. If James Pierce's legal issues are good, he'd be the pick here, but I don't know. Donovan Jackson, like, just get a really solid guard. I don't know if he fits Philadelphia, though. I like their downhill physicality element to them. But I'm not like in love with a lot of these options. So I might just take the upgrade on the offensive line, because that offensive line was not great this year, which is bizarre for Philadelphia. So reinvesting in this one, obviously this was the Jahad Campbell pick, but obviously that's not going to be available for them at this point. Josh Simmons, maybe long-term play at right tackle for, I can't remember his name for whatever reason. I can see his face. I can't think of his name, but your right tackle. I don't hate that. Josh Simmons, like when he was on the field, was really, really good this year. So I definitely feel like he would be in play. But I do think when it comes down to it, they need more of a guard than a tackle right now. And I'm going to go Donovan Jackson there. And then Kansas City up at 32. Man, they could really use some just disruptors on this defensive line. Dude, Josh Connolly had a good year. It took him a little bit to get going, but he was pretty damn good towards the back end. You know, I feel like either one of the Joshes, which ironically, hi, my name's Josh too. So 3 Joshes in a room. Who's who? I'm kidding. I would definitely get dwarfed by these 2. Kansas City, what would they take? Malachi Starks, maybe? I can kind of see that one a tad bit. Tyleek, just give him a big dude up the middle. I feel like they need more of a disruptor, though. This could be Nick Scorton, actually. Yeah, we'll go Nick Scorton here. Yeah, let's do Nick Scorton. Here we go. So this is our redraft. Cam Ward still goes 1, but a lot of changes here. You guys, please, in the comment section below, let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on this mock draft? What would you change? What would you go with? And again, this website is in beta, so just stay a little bit patient. I'll let you guys know when this website is fully released. It's got a lot of cool features to it. I don't want to show too much. This is one of the features. It's got a lot more, so stay tuned for that. Hit the like and subscribe button if you're new and going to enjoy. Love you guys.